Yay!
Are we going?
We're live, man.
All right, fantastic.
We look very red. I don't know why are we so red.
We've been busy all day. I think that's why.
Certainly not sunburn, is it?
Definitely not. No.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jay, and this is Mark.
Mark,
How's things? I think we've got great. We've got 200 people in here already.
Ooh, picking up. Excellent.
And if you're on YouTube watching this and you want the chance to actually speak live, you have to actually come across and join us in the Zoom live class. And you can do that by going to e2language.com, and it will only take you a minute. You come in, click on the live class, follow the Zoom link, and you can come into the actual Zoom live class. All right, let's have a look at who's in here.
Lots of people.
Dharma Ibrahim, Ashana Atira, Ahana, Abisola, Irvin. Wow, it's alphabetically ordered, right?
Yep. Amandeep, Anna,
Alice, Amal, Amandeep, Anjali, Anwar.
Oh, it's all A's. There we are.
Yeah.
There's some B's. Let's go down. Let's see who else is here.
We got any Z's?
Hello from Iran. We have people from Iran joining us.
Cool.
Latvia. Ooh.
Laura from Italy.
Italy, the United Arab Emirates, India.
Good stuff.
The Philippines, Argentina. All right.
Fantastic. Wow, Nigeria, I saw. Okay.
Azerbaijan.
Good stuff.
Colombians.
All right. We may as well get cracking with this.
Let's go.
So let me just bring up my slides here.
Yeah.
And let me share my screen with you. I think that's all good. Cool. All right, I'll do the little intro part.
Great.
Hello, everybody. My name is Jay. I'm one of the expert IELTS teachers here at E2 Test Prep, which you can find on e2language.com. In today's class, if it's morning, noon, or night for you, we're going to focus on IELTS speaking, okay? Just very broadly, you probably know this already. In IELTS speaking, the whole thing goes for about 11 to 14 minutes, and there are 3 parts. Can you just quickly recap the 3 parts, Mark?
Part 1, basic, simple introductions. Who are you? Where are you from? Questions, are you a student? Are you working? And then they'll ask some simple questions, maybe your favorite color, maybe a season that you like.
Do you like the rain is one I got once.
Really? I said, yeah, well, you're in a good city for that.
Do you like the rain?
I'm from Vancouver. I love the rain. All right. So basic, simple questions. You just give a quick 3-4 sentences. You don't need to go into too much detail.
That's right. Yeah, cool. And let's skip part 2 because we'll focus that on in more detail. What about part 3?
Part 3, this is where you're going to have a bit more of a back and forth with the teacher. They're going to ask you some questions. They might ask you your opinions or positions on something. They might ask you to identify examples or characteristics of someone or something and talk about those. They might ask you a comparison question, the past and now or the future.
Right. Okay. It starts to get quite deep in part 3, doesn't it?
Yes.
All right, cool. So we've just recapped that very quickly. I want to touch on scoring with you because this is the name of the game. You need to know how to maximize your scores. So just briefly, you are scored on 4 criteria, it's called. It's actually really more than that. You're scored on fluency and coherence, 25%, vocab, range, which means the number of words you use,
the different words,
different words or the variation in your vocabulary, and also the accuracy of the words you use or the precision, your word choice. Grammatical range and accuracy. Again, grammatical range means you're just not speaking with short, simple sentences. You're using some conditionals, maybe a question, maybe some different verb tenses, etc. And it should be as accurate as you can possibly make it. And last one is pronunciation. So this thing, I don't know if you've seen this before. This is a ghastly looking thing. This is the official criteria. So if I'm an IELTS, well, you were an IELTS speaking examiner.
5 years.
Did you look at something like this when you're marking the candidate?
Not when you're looking at it. You aren't really looking at it while they're speaking, but yes, you do have it there with you and you use it, you can keep that with you, but yes, you're usually focused on the student as they're speaking and you've got this off to the side.
So what do you doing when the candidate's speaking as the examiner? What are you writing down?
You're not really, you're only writing down some times of, when did they start speaking? When did they stop speaking? Yeah. In the test, they're just there, they're talking to you and they're listening to you. Yes. They might write down a couple of notes, but that's just time related, not score related. Yeah. So if you see a 3 or a 9, don't feel anything about that. That has nothing to do with your score. And then, once you've left, if they have any doubt, then they might check their scores.
So when do you actually give the candidate the score? Do you wait until they leave or?
Yep. After they leave, they close the door, they stop recording, they make their notes.
Do you listen back to the recording?
Ooh.
Or do you just use your memory?
I believe you can listen to it, but yeah. So
it's okay. Mark's an ex-examiner.
You can listen to it, I suppose. Yes.
He's come to the good side now. He's in the preparation space.
I've always been on the good side.
Okay, true.
Yeah.
So, all right. Okay, so after they leave, you then recount sort of their fluency, coherence, vocabulary, etc. Let's take a closer look at this, Mark. So talk me through fluency and coherence. What does that mean?
Really, you're not, for a higher score, you're not pausing, you're not having difficulty looking for the words. You might have a bit of difficulty occasionally, maybe with the correct idea, but you're generally not umming, too much. And then of course your ideas are connected and developed. So you want to avoid and then, and. You want to take one idea, explain it, extend it, talk about the effect, hypothesize, develop the idea.
Cool. That's what we're going to do in this lesson,
yes,
aren't we? We're really going to focus. A lot of what we're going to talk about today is going to focus on that fluency and coherence criterion.
It's the one thing I think you can control easiest as a language learner.
Gotcha.
Because, these ideas are the same if you're speaking a different language.
Yeah.
And you can, learn how to develop your ideas. Grammar and vocabulary, everyone's a little bit different, and that can take time to develop.
And pronunciation.
Yes.
Right? Although you have something about sentence stress that you
I won't stop talking about.
You can do pron. I'll talk about vocabulary. So as I mentioned before, you are scored on vocabulary in that it needs to be precise. That is, you're using the right word at the right time to make the right meaning. It also, it should be varied as well. That is, you shouldn't be repeating the same word again and again. So try and use your full repertoire of vocabulary. That would have got me a little point. What about grammar? Grammar is the same thing. It needs to be accurate. So if you're talking about, I don't know, cup versus cups, make sure you get your plural noun right. If you're talking about in the past tense, make sure you get the ED on the verb right, things like that. And also varied. So I wouldn't think too consciously about grammar at all in this.
No. Well, while you're preparing, while you're practicing, you might, while you're making notes or developing an idea before your class or before your test, that's fine.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't be thinking in the test, okay, I need an if sentence. And it's just not, it's not realistic.
There's no time. This is real time. So it's moving very quickly. You're just going with the flow.
And if you, I think if you focus on extending the idea, you'll need the grammar.
Yeah.
You'll need that, you want to practice before, and then in the test, don't think about it.
Here's an interesting little thing, which is, do you lead by grammar first or idea first? And what I'm getting at here is, if you have a big idea, you're probably going to need quite complex and varied grammar to express that idea.
Yeah.
So really you want to be leading with ideas and then letting the grammar express those ideas, not thinking I'm going to use the present perfect now. What's an idea that can fit the present perfect? Yeah. That's not how it works with language. Okay, pronunciation. Now, people cannot rapidly improve pronunciation, but there is one thing they can do, isn't there?
I always think about word stress.
Sentence stress?
Sentence stress. Stressing the key word in a sentence is one way of thinking about that. Yeah. But I like to think about the very common words that we use a lot, many, a lot. And by the way, I always see these videos on YouTube of like people saying, never say very. And I say very all the time. Add stress to it. It's a very good movie. It's a very It was a very good day.
It's a very important word.
Yeah. So, it's not a wrong word. If you're going to use it, add the stress, add that feeling. We're going to be talking about, advertisements today. It was a very funny advertisement. Boom. That's going to bring up your pronunciation. I mean, if you continue to do that throughout your answer, that's really going to help your pronunciation score. So yeah, cool. Add stress to those words. More, many, few, a lot.
Okay.
Never. I've never done that before.
Good. Yeah. Sort of become a bit more emphatic with your speech. You really do have to amp it up. Like, for example, if you're watching the news, pay attention to the way the news readers read the news. They don't read in a monotone, flat way. They emphasize particular words of importance. Cool. All right. Enough of that scoring stuff. Let's look at IELTS speaking part 2. So in IELTS speaking part 2, you have 1 minute to prepare. The examiner will give you a task card. You get to look at that task card and take notes with a pen and paper for 1 minute. And then you will need to speak about that particular task card for up to 2 minutes, ideally. So this is what we're going to focus on today. And what we really want to do is think about the 1 minute preparation time and how you can leverage that, how you can use that to your benefit, all right? So we've got a couple of different ways that we can use the 1 minute preparation time. Here's method 1. Okay, so imagine it's test day, Mark, and the examiner gives you this task card about a website you've recently used. So this is method 1. Let's talk about what we would do. First of all, sorry, I'm going to keep carrying on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I've taken this test 5 times. And one thing that I've noticed is that the 1 minute preparation time goes like that for a few reasons. Well, for the main reason that you're probably anxious, okay? Which is perfectly natural on test day. Your heart will be racing, your hands will be sweating, and you don't really have time to think very clearly about this particular task card. You don't have time, you certainly don't have time to write down full sentences or a paragraph or anything like that. Really, when you're given the task card and it says, describe a website you have recently used, you have to first think, okay, what website am I going to talk about? What website am I going to talk about? This can take sort of, if it's a tricky one, like talk about a present that you have received, sometimes you'll spend like 20 seconds thinking about a gift that you've received, okay? Or a gift that you've given somebody. So that takes time. Then what we recommend with method 1 is instead of just writing down one gift or one website, you write down 2. And here's why. When you begin to speak, you'll get off to a flying start and you'll have lots and lots to say and you'll have lots of ideas. And if you have lots of ideas, you'll have lots of language to say about that website or that gift or that book or that teacher or that friend or that circumstance or whatever. Most people, however, then run out of ideas at about the 1 minute or 1 minute 20 second mark. And when they run out of ideas, they run out of language. This is what we don't want to happen. So when we practice this today, we want you to do this. Let me share my screen again. We want you to read the card, write down 2 websites, read the card again, take a deep breath. That's probably all you can do. So Mark, talk me through your thinking processes with this task. What would you do?
All right. I would just pick the first thing that comes to mind.
Yes.
And, don't worry about it too much. That's it. So I'd be like, all right, simple, Facebook and then Instagram. Cool. I would just think about those 2 things. It doesn't really matter. And don't worry about a good or bad website. Just pick the first things that come to mind.
Yeah.
Go over the card again. I would think a little bit, about the past, like what's my story with it? When did I find Facebook for the first time? Something like that. Or when the question says when you've recently used it. So when did I last use it? Yesterday.
Yeah. Cool. All right, let's do it. It's your turn. So enough talking from us. What we want you to do is just prepare, not speak yet. We're going to give you 60 seconds. We're going to give you an entirely new task card. And I want you to use method 1. I want you to write down 2 things, all right? So let us disappear. You have 60 seconds to prepare. Just to remind you, you're just preparing at the moment. And just like that, your 60 seconds is over. And what does the examiner say here?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a preamble. You can start speaking now, please. That's the end of it. I'll never forget that.
All right.
You can start speaking now, please.
All right. Now it's your turn to speak. And we are going to select Grace. Hello, Grace. Can you hear us?
You have to unmute yourself.
Grace. Hello, Grace. Oh, let me make it.
Hello.
Hi, Grace. How are you?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
Where are you, Grace?
I'm in Nigeria, Lagos, Nigeria.
All right. Fantastic. Grace, so let's do this. I want you to describe a holiday you would like to take, and we're going to give you 2 minutes. And if you start running out of ideas on one holiday, I want you to think of another holiday, okay?
And just wait, can we also just check, Grace, do you have your test coming up soon?
Yes, but I'm not registered for the test.
Okay.
But I'm hoping to take it soon.
Okay, what score are you aiming for?
8.5 or 8.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. All right.
You can do it. All right, Grace, we're going to disappear. We'll give you 2 minutes. Away you go.
Can you start speaking now, please?
Hello?
Yep. Go, Grace.
Go ahead.
No.
Hello?
Grace is gone. What happened to Grace? Grace bailed out.
Okay, let's try that again.
Right, that's it. Who else do we got here? Let me go to the chat. Okay, here we go. Manpreet Kaur. Here we go. Manpreet Kaur.
I see someone who was in my class just recently.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, just bear with us. This is a bit.
Nope.
Got 2 Manpreet Kaurs. Let's see if it's this one. Hello, Manpreet.
Hello.
That's a very cute little kid you have in your profile pic. Is that your daughter?
Yeah. No, not at all. I'm unmarried.
Oh,
okay.
There you go. Fair enough. Okay, Manpreet, are you ready to speak for 2 minutes?
Yes, I
And
am.
what score are you aiming for?
It's 7.
7. Okay, terrific. We're going to disappear and you can begin speaking now.
Well, I'm a travel freaker, so I would like to go on a holiday very frequently. So I'm planning to move to the Venice, Italy very soon. So I have planned to visit there in the coming winter. Actually, this is a very famous place in the Italy. One of my friend is living there, and he has told me about the various places, various interesting places in the Venice. The very famous profession in the Venice I came to know is the gondoliers. I want to know about the culture, about the living style of gondoliers, and I would like to go there in the coming winters. And after visiting there, I would like to know about the lifestyle of the gondoliers. I have came to know that their salary is very high because it's a quite tough job, because I think it requires 2 to 3 years to get this job, because there is a quite long training period is there. uh, Apart from the Venice, if I did not get a chance, get a visa to the Venice, Italy, then definitely I would love to go to the Paris, because I have many relatives which are residing in the Paris, and I would love to meet them as soon as possible, because they have told me about the Paris. There are lot of churches that I can visit, and that churches are worth to visit. So I will definitely make a plan to visit Paris, or otherwise, if I would be fortunate enough, then definitely it would be Venice in the Italy, so that I can learn about the life of the gondoliers. And also there are several churches in the Italy also. So I will visit that churches and I will see a bit of Italy.
Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to give you a bit of verbal feedback first. So Mark, just first impressions. Let's with Manpreet's attempt there. Just overall first impressions. What was the? I'm sort of. This is a bit of a leading question. Manpreet, you definitely have amazing language skills. The key thing that I picked up on was that it was constant. There was no pausing. Yeah, there was just it was consistent, but there was an absence of pausing. There was no real breaks between sentences. Did you do that on purpose by any chance, Manpreet? Were you sort of practicing?
Actually, I'm habitual of speaking like this. Even I'm keep on getting this feedback from the other tutors also. But if I take a pause while speaking, I got to forget my ideas. That's why I keep on speaking on the one pace.
Okay, so you've sort of developed a strategy where you just keep going on and on and on. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, that's. So please, you go. You're the IELTS expert.
I mean, the main thing that I know in a situation like this, where it just kind of continues, is that you talked a bit about the gondoliers, and I guess here's the question. There, you mentioned that what was it? Their salary is really high, and the training is now. I guess was this surprising for you? Like when you found out about this, was it surprising?
No, actually, I have read about them in the 10th standard. There is a one novel. No, I think there is a one English book in our CBSE school about the gondoliers.
Okay.
Venice and Italy. That's why I quite know. Even I haven't write any plan yet. I don't have notebook along with me. I just spoke whatever stuck in my mind.
So this is really interesting. You just said you read about it in a book.
Yes.
Yeah, like I think that's kind of an important thing. You could stop there and like focus on that in your answer, right? Like, years ago I read this book about, and then go into that. How did you feel about, and how did you feel when you were, reading about that? Like, was it exciting to read about, or, sometimes when I'm reading a book, I'm really engaged. Sometimes I'm kind of bored. Like, how did you feel when you were reading it?
It was quite interesting because their lifestyle is quite different from others' profession. That's why it's a quite different. And I have searched about them on the Google. Like they have to do the boating in the water, and they have to take care of that their boat will not stuck on any corner, because it's a very quite tough. It's quite tough. I can say boating or something. I don't know which vocab I have to use.
Okay. So I would just say like that's an area you could go in there. Like I was listening going like, oh, like, why is this so surprising that they get paid so much? Maybe you thought they didn't get paid much, but yeah, you read about it. I also wanted to ask, you said you want to go in the winter?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm not sure about the weather in
summer?
Italy. Because these days summers are going on in the India, and if I have to plan, then it would be a winter in the coming season, according to my area.
Okay. So again, like this is something you might explore a little bit. Like, most people will or you could even say like, it might be nice to go there in the winter because it's going to be less busy.
Maybe.
Yeah. So just ways to extend it. It'll slow you down and you can give a bit more detail about the backstory. I would just also say one thing with pronunciation, slow down a bit.
Yeah.
And yeah, very frequently. So I'm planning to go to Venice. You know, it's a very famous city. Can I hear you just say a few things? I would love to see them.
I would love to see them.
Much better.
Yeah.
Much better.
There are a lot of churches.
There are a lot of churches.
Much
Yeah,
better.
good. It's very famous.
It's very famous.
So much better.
So slow down, stress those. You did it once at the end. All right. Like I only heard that really nice stress one time at the end. If you're aiming for that 7, you're going to need to make that more consistent.
Yeah, my key thing for you is just slow down a little bit and use the sentence stress. That means particular words will have more emphasis. So slow it down and a bit more sentence stress.
But the problem is if I slow it down, I used to forget my ideas. That's why I keep on speaking so that I will not forget anything.
It's totally fine to pause.
I think it's due to stress.
Oh, okay. Look, if this is your method, if it works, but I would just slow down a bit and use sentence stress to make it more emphatic.
Here's the thing. It sounded like a really personal and interesting story for you. So let it be interesting for the person who's hearing it. I read this book when I was younger and it was really interesting. Like go into that. I think if you focus more on that part of it, I think for fluency, you'll get what you want.
Cool. Let's move on. Well,
yeah.
Manpreet, very good. A couple of little prawn things is the Venice sounded a little bit Italy rather than Italy. It's I do love Italy in India, but Italy, so a few little prawn things. And grammar, very good. Just the Paris. You also said the Google. So just sometimes articles, but otherwise, very good. We're going to move on. Thank you, Manpreet.
Thank you, Manpreet.
Okay. Thank you.
No problem. All right. I can, there you go. Whoa, that's a nice way to do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. That's fun. How fun. Okay. Your turn to speak. And we're going to go to the chat. I'm going to pick somebody with a different.
Doing the same question?
Let's do the same one again. Oh, by the way, the whole point of this, let's go back for 1 second, is Manpreet did something amazing then. I don't know if you noticed. So she talked about Venice started to run out of ideas. Then Manpreet said, apart from Venice, I would also like to go to Paris. And started talking about Paris. Paris was full of fresh ideas and fresh language, and therefore she could speak for the full 2 minutes. So well done on using method 1 there, Manpreet. That's cool. Okay, somebody with what about Askarbek? Askarbek. I have no idea what language that's going to be. Let's ASQAR. All right, ready? Askarbek. I'm going to find you. ASQ. There you are. Oh, hey, what happened? It's doing its crazy thing again. Yes, Askarbek, hello.
You have to unmute yourself.
Hello, Askarbek.
Hello. Hello, Jake.
Hello, where are you calling from?
Oh, I'm from Uzbekistan, from Central Asia.
All right.
Cool.
Cool.
That's awesome. I don't think we've had an Uzbek student on here yet, so that's really nice to hear you. So is your first language Uzbek? Or Uzbeki?
Yeah, of course.
Uh-oh. Hopefully.
Yeah, but I can speak Russian as well.
Oh, cool. Nice work. All right, my man, let's give you a crack at this. Ready? We're going to do the same one that you just saw. So you're talking about a holiday. And if you run out of ideas talking about your first holiday, switch to another holiday idea. Your time, if I can find my cursor. Hold on. Cursor is here. Fantastic. All right. You can start now, please.
Okay. Now what I would like to tell you about my holiday, which is to my really gorgeous region called Surkhan area. It's really located in the northern side of my country, Uzbekistan, and I love my region very much. And I think in my holiday when I visited there, I feel so good because it makes me feel really gorgeous, and I think in one area which is called Omahana is the best place, and I suggest you to invite, or just I invite you there to go. There is a crystal clear water and very great nature of this planet. You'll fall in love with that nature. I'm sure if you come here.
I just want to switch. Can you please tell me about another place now? Switch your
I'll
idea.
show you all of the beauty of Uzbekistan. I have just spending on my time in there, and I'm spending really great here. It's near the
Oh, thank you, Oscar.
city of
All right.
and
Sorry. Thank you.
this
Thank you,
place is also
Askabek.
great.
It's not working.
All right.
There he stopped. All
Cool.
right.
We had some internet problems
Okay.
there, but I think we've got a good idea of your language there. Mark, do you have any comments?
The first thing, Askabek, like if you're aiming to get up towards like a strong 5, if you want to get to a 6 or above that, you are going to need to think about, I mean, you are pausing a lot, and you're going to have to, I mean, you're just going to have to get a bit more comfortable giving longer pieces of language. So I'm going to go to a place in Georgia. This place is very beautiful. So the way you were speaking, there was a few too many pauses. So if you're going to try to get up to a 6, you're going to have to it's going to have to be a bit smoother. There's too many pauses. That's going to be a bit problematic. And then, of course, you mentioned crystal clear blue water. Do you swim in this water? Is this a lake where people swim? Did you play in this water when you were a child? How did that make you feel? So just be sure to give us more details about what you're talking about, because for fluency, for your ideas, you're going to need to give a lot more to start getting us a higher score.
All right. I have 2 questions for you, Mark, actually. First one is, what's the difference between pausing and hesitating? Because one is good and one's not good, right?
Yeah. So if you're struggling to go from one word to the next, that's where the problem is. That's hesitation. You're looking for the word and you don't know it. Pause is something you can use like this to demonstrate a bit more emphasis.
Mm-hmm. Right. So pauses used correctly can enhance your score.
Yeah.
Hesitations, however, will decrease your score. Okay. The second thing I want to raise is this, Askabek. I didn't hear when you transitioned from one idea to the next. As far as I heard, you were talking about the one holiday destination. And let's say this one holiday destination was a place you go in summer that has lakes and you're swimming and etc. Then if you are running out of ideas, you switch and say, apart from that, I would also like to visit this place here. It's in the mountains, but we visit this in winter and there's snow and it's cold. And so you're all of a sudden got this new vocabulary and new ideas. Yeah. So we'll call it a day there. Thank you, Askabek, for joining us. Hopefully that was helpful. And I'm going to pause that. So we've done method 1.
Yeah.
Method one was we write down 2 ideas, and if we run out of ideas for the first idea, we bring in the second idea. We have fresh ideas and fresh language. So let's now talk about method 2. Cool. Okay. Method 2. Here we go. This is a different idea. So in method 1, wrote down 2 ideas. Method 2 works like this. You'll get your little task card. Thank you very much. You're going to read the card. This one is just for us. We're going to talk about a website. This time we're going to talk about one website. However, we're going to think about change. Okay. So for example, I'm going to try not to use Google because I've done that one before. I'm going to talk about, see, this is the problem. It actually sometimes it takes you quite a long time to think of a particular website. I'm going to talk about E2 language.
I thought you had a website for surfing that gave you like weather information about surfing.
Yeah, this one.
But that's a perfect example. Do you use it today?
Yes.
Yeah.
So I could talk about Magic Seaweed is a website that I've used for a very long time. I started using it when I was about 17 years old. Mm-hmm. And the purpose of Magic Seaweed is to check the surf. Mm-hmm. It tells you all sorts of things about the weather conditions, the wind, the surf, the swell, etc.
And either before you found that website, how did people find out about good surfing conditions?
Exactly. Before I found, sorry, I just want to tell you about this now. It's so interesting.
Okay. So perfect. Extending ideas.
Right. Before I knew about magicseaweed.com, in order to check the surf, I would have to ring my friend who lived near the beach and say, hey, Rupert, what's the surf like? And hope that Rupert had checked the surf and then he could tell me over the phone what the surf was like.
And by the time you got there, could the conditions have changed?
Totally. The wind could change. The swell direction could change.
Does this website give you a better indication of what it's going to be like later in the day?
Totally. This thing actually predicts the future, etc. So that was one idea. Just briefly, I'm going to talk about E2 language. It's a website that I helped to build. When we first started, it was like this. Now it's like this. And in the future, it could be like this. So what we're doing here with this method is selecting one idea and thinking about the past, the present, and the future. Okay. So now we're going to turn it over to you. I'm going to give you 1 minute to prepare. You're going to look at this task card and you're going to think past, present, future. Okay. Cool. Sorry, anything else?
No, that's it. I really think, that's a good way. What was your life or life in general like before? And what is it like now or after? It's a simple way to extend. And, it was the same. We were just talking about this a little bit with Manpreet, before there was the book that she had read and that's, informed her decision. So think about how things changed from the past until now.
All right. So now what we're doing, Mark, is we're giving everybody the same task card they saw before about a holiday they would like to take, which is kind of indicating the future. But we still want them to think about this particular holiday destination, this one particular holiday destination in past, present, and future. Okay. See how it changes your sort of angle and what you're going to talk about. So anyway, I'm just going to give you 60 seconds to think about this. Okay, so let's, just before we turn it over to you to give you a chance to talk, Mark, can I ask you about a holiday destination you'd like to go, and how would you use this past, present, future, or the notion of change to do with this particular holiday destination?
Yeah, there's a few ways. So I might start by saying, yeah, once we can travel again, I plan to go to Spain, right? I hope to go to Barcelona. I actually would have gone there this year, but of course, we have had this incident where there's no international travel, or at least limited international travel. So I might make that point. I might also point out, I actually went to Barcelona once when I was 19, but I don't really think I appreciated it that much back then. I went there, I just looked around. I didn't know anything about architecture or food. So I kind of just hung out with other tourists, with other backpackers. And this time, I actually know people who live there. I know local people there, so I would go and visit them. So I can kind of jump around a bit in the past and now. And again, in the past, I didn't really appreciate these things. I didn't really enjoy hot climates either. I grew up in a very cold climate. I was very comfortable in those kinds of places. But now that I'm old, I like hot places.
And how did Barcelona change over time as well, like from when you were there in the past to present, and how might it change in the future?
Yeah, so I might think of it a bit more about how I changed as well. I think back then, I was 19. I didn't care about museums. I didn't care about art galleries. And now I think I would enjoy it much more because, it's a city that has all of these museums. And again, when I was young, I didn't understand.
So why this is so good and why your response is so rich is not just the vocabulary here, but because you're talking about past, present, and a hypothetical future.
Yeah,
you're using a range of cool grammar, like lots of verb tenses, the subjunctive, possibly an if sentence. Yeah, lots of interesting past tense verbs. So that's cool. Right.
What about you? How would you, what's the next holiday that you would want to take?
Well, considering COVID has locked down our state, in fact, our entire country, I'm going to holiday locally very soon. And what I'll do is visit a place that I've been to many times. And again, I went there when I was a child. It was a holiday destination I went to quite a lot. Again, I could talk about visiting there more recently. It used to be a very quiet seaside town, but now it's quite busy and it's grown a lot. The population's increased quite significantly.
Was it better then, or is it better now?
Well, I think there were some aspects that were better then. It was quieter, but now there's more amenities, better restaurants, better cafes, things like that. In the future, I think they should probably put a stop to the growth of the town because it might ruin it, for example. But again, talking through past, present, future.
And that was perfect. I heard I've been there a few times. I went there the first time when I was young. So we got a range of verb forms.
All right. Ivelo. I don't know if that's how I pronounce your name. Hello, Ivelo Rusinov.
Hello.
Yes, that's a cool accent. What's your accent?
My accent is a typical Slavic accent. I'm from Bulgaria, and Bulgarian language is the same group as Russian, which should be quite clearly.
Fantastic. All right, great. So, all right, let me share the screen.
Are you taking your IELTS test soon?
Well, I was planning to sign up by the end of July, but I'm not completely sure if my English is on the level it needs to be to pass.
And what level is that?
Well, I need an overall 7 with no less than 6.5 in any of the components. So I can actually get away with 6.5 in writing and speaking, for example, but I'll have to make up in reading and listening.
Cool. All right. All right, great. Well, we're going to give you 2 minutes and I want you to think about this topic and think about the nature of change, okay? Your time starts now.
Okay. Should that be related to the holiday topic or just change in general?
Holiday.
Yeah.
Let me start the clock again.
So describe a holiday that you would like to take. You can start speaking now, please.
Okay. So I also actually like to visit Italy. I wanted to visit the country for a very long time. I've only seen cool pictures like the most famous seasides, like the Colosseum and the tower. In which city was it? It just slipping my mind now. But anyway, so Italy definitely has a lot of cool places to visit, historical, and also definitely the food is very famous. So I want to try some original Italian food. Apart from that, probably do some window shopping. And besides Italy, another cool place will probably be to visit like the USA, because as it's now, I've only been in countries in Europe. So Bulgaria is also in Europe. So that's why I've only been to countries in the same continent. So I would like to visit another one, see how culture is there, and so say bigger differences. For example, I've never seen skyscrapers. The only thing that comes close to skyscrapers was in Germany, but still quite different. And besides that, will be probably very interesting to visit like Las Vegas, New York, Chicago, the most popular cities, and maybe some other resorts like Yellowstone. And I think my time is done.
Good stuff. All right. So just before we talk about the sort of language aspect, what Ivalo did then was switch topics.
Yeah.
So he didn't, in fact, really talk much about past, present, future as much as I could hear. But rather there was you did method 1, which was to switch topics, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
That obviously for you felt like a natural thing to do. As you were running out of ideas talking about Italy, you then talked about the USA, and you made that transition by saying another cool place to visit would be the USA.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was
good.
a really nice transition.
Works.
So the ability is there. I think there's definitely some use of those less common grammatical structures, which was really good.
Yeah.
The only thing that I would, as always, I would kind of say is like, let's try to get into this a little bit. You wanted to go to Italy. You've been to other places in Europe. I guess the question I would have is like, what kind of holidays, like, when you were younger, did you go on like more local holidays in Bulgaria and nearby?
Well, overall, yes. I mean, it does come down to budget. So most of my holidays were local or to neighbor countries like Greece and Turkey, North Macedonia, Serbia, so on. From our neighbor countries, I only haven't been in Romania. And about the past, sorry.
No, go ahead. Keep going. I guess what I'm just trying to think there is that really helped.
I was thinking
just now. Start extending a little bit more. You started to get like local countries, neighbor countries. And so that kind of, it started extending the vocabulary a little bit, topic related. And then you might then transition and say, so going to Italy would be special because, and I really liked what you said about, you don't see a lot of skyscrapers where you are. And I guess, so Italy maybe would have more of those as well if you're up in Milan or other big cities. I guess I would just say that, like, the change could be when I was younger, I used to do this. And usually I do local holidays. So I would really like to go to Italy.
Cool. All right. We will move on just for the sake of time, but look, overall, great language skills, I have to say. Like, you certainly tick the box of vocabulary range and precision. A lot of grammatical variety in there, was largely accurate, and your pronunciation was clear. As far as I could understand you pretty much effortlessly. Very nice pronunciation, very clear, good pausing. Again, you can sort of see how important ideas are here. If you get the ideas there, so being willing to switch topics halfway through, that's completely fine. Gives you fresh ideas, give you fresh language. Any other last points?
I think that's fine. I guess
Cool.
just tell us in the comments, what's the Italian city that has a famous tower in it?
Oh, here we go.
That was there it is.
Pizza, somebody said. That's what we had for
Pizza.
dinner.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Avelo. And yeah, good luck with your exam.
Thank you very much. I was going to ask, is it possible to evaluate my performance at the moment?
I would say, so again, we don't want to just be throwing out numbers, but I would say if you extend, like the way you did it there, when you started extending and talking about neighboring countries, local holidays, Macedonia, Turkey, if you do that more, I think you'll be a lot more likely to get the score you want.
That's very
okay. Thank you very much.
So focus on that way of extending the ideas. And I think, yeah, it's much more likely.
cool. Good stuff. Thanks, man.
Great, thank you.
Bye. Okay, cool. We got time for one more. And this time I want somebody to do these. But now we're going to choose Taupe because Taupe has his or her exam on Monday, apparently. Taupe. Okay.
No, Taupe's gone.
Nope. Taupe's there, but it's.
There we go. Allow
Taupe,
yourself.
hello.
Hello,
Hey, Taupe. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Cool. Where are you?
I currently live in Finland, but I'm Nigerian.
Oh, nice. Okay,
Finland.
fantastic. Okay, nice. What are you doing in Finland?
Just finished my postgraduate studies in Masters in Information Technology.
What subject, sorry?
Information Technology.
Oh,
wow.
okay. Cool. Nice.
Bravo.
Nice.
Good. It's a good country to do that.
Oh,
Yeah, they have nice education system.
Yeah. Is that where?
All
No,
right, let's go.
All right, sorry.
All right, Taupe, you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it, my man. You got 2 minutes. See if you can weave in some past, present, and future into your talk about a holiday, okay? You can
Okay. Okay. So I would like to talk about holidays. I think like in every human's life, the importance of holiday cannot be overemphasized, because I remember when I was little, my father used to work a lot and he didn't have enough holiday and it took a big toll on his health. So over the years, my mom has always made sure we go on holidays. Because I remember when I was little, my mom took me to France. France is a very nice destination. We visited the Eiffel Tower. I was really amused by the architecture of the city. Although France is Paris is an ancient city, but I believe the heart there is still ahead of its time. And sometimes I'm marveled by the heart structures. And I think the heart is state of the heart structure. And also, I've been thinking about going to a safari in South Africa. South Africa is located in Africa, and is a place I always want to visit. Although there are a lot of social vices in South Africa, but I still think it's a place I would like to go, especially the safari. Like the safari is a place where the animals have been preserved for the future, because most animals right now are going into extinction. And I think South Africa has doing a very good job there. And I would also like to visit the bars and maybe a music concert in South Africa, because I'm a big fan of the Amapiano music genre. I'm a big fan of music. And also, I would also like to visit maybe the Mars in the future, talking about hypothetically, like literally the future. I'm a big fan of Elon Musk. So maybe I would like to visit the Mars with Elon Musk. That would be a dream come true. I think that's my 2 minutes.
That was the most thorough, information-packed. Yeah. All right. I would. Yeah. So good. You gave your answers. You made some really good reflections. I would just say, like, when you mentioned going to France and you were talking about the importance of travel, and it's very relaxing and interesting. And I would only just say, like, if you're going into that much detail, so what? Like, why is that important? I would just say maybe, it's really important because then when I return to my regular life, I feel more relaxed. It just felt like you kept giving information, but I didn't really feel like you were making the final point or concluding the idea that this is important because. And again, similar thing when you were talking about music with going to, was it Eastern Africa,
South Africa.
South Africa,
Yeah.
South Africa. Can you hear that music live in Finland or in Nigeria?
But they have the best. They have the best amapiano. Is a big genre in South Africa. So I think going there would be the best to have the live concert, live experience. Yeah, they have it in Nigeria, but it's not as big as South Africa.
Yeah, so not as big as. So yeah, that comparison really adds a little bit of depth, and it extends the answer nicely, because you were kind of just saying, yeah, I really like the music and I'm going to go to Mars. And I think, I really like the music because, you can hear this music in Nigeria, but it's not as, So just kind of give a bit more context. That's extending the idea more. It's a bit better for fluency. It did feel like you were rushing quite a bit, oh, what's next?
I was nervous.
Well, hopefully you'll feel a little bit less nervous after today.
You got to breathe that in. You just got to feel that. There's not much you can do about nervousness, I don't think, except for just accept it. Your heart's going to race. Your hand's going to sweat. It's only 11 to 14 minutes of your life. You'll be fine. Cool, Tope. That was good. I mean, your language.
Okay.
Your language skills.
Please, do you think I can make 7?
I think you can make 7. Yes, I think if you slow it down a little bit, if you elaborate more on your ideas a little bit more. I think you can do that for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think just, remember, like when you're telling your story, like get the examiner to, the examiner doesn't really necessarily care one way or the other, but as if you're trying to say, I want to see this music because it's really good. And
find something interesting, because then you find the interesting idea, it naturally your language will come out.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Whew. All right. Only got a few minutes left.
He's going to go to Mars. That's going to be cool. Yeah, I like that. He went from South Africa to Mars. Hey, isn't Elon Musk originally from born in South Africa?
Oh, yeah, he's too. Yeah. Cool. All right. Just a little TV advertisement before we head off. So if you need help with your IELTS test, and if you need to talk to an E2 expert and do some live speaking practice with someone who can give you very good feedback, then you can do that on e2language.com. The tutorials come as part of your packages. What else can I say? These are 45 minutes. They're one-on-one. You can choose the time that suits you, the skill or skills of your choice. And as I mentioned, you get comprehensive feedback from the expert, and that's extremely helpful before your test. You can, of course, always take these on writing as well. So if you do need help with your IELTS test, check out e2language.com. Cool. I think that's all from us. There's a grammar class coming up in 3 minutes, I believe, with Marie-Claire. So if you are a paid student, you can join that class there. Cool. Thank you very much for coming along, everyone. I hope that was fun. It was fun for me. Did you have fun?
It's always lovely to hear, from people around the world, and, just everyone. Beautiful. I wish we could have talked to everybody, but we can't. Just listen to what we're saying, follow the ideas, practice. And
keep those methods.
You'll do well. That is a lot of smiling faces.
Sandeep's going to get kicked out next time. Remember those methods. They'll be helpful. Cool. Thanks, everyone. See you soon.